Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quatt. We are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a returning special guest. We have Cole Hartley. How's it going today, man?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Staying busy, just kind of enjoying the last glimpses of summer.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So, how's everything going with you? You're in the middle of hunting season, was it a hunting guide? Is that
I
technically
am.
what it's?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How's all
Yeah.
that going?
It's going all right. It's going all right. I was guiding a hunt Sunday through Wednesday this week, and then pulled off the mountain. I mean, I had a song come out on Thursday night at midnight, so I had to be home for that, and also did a TV interview Thursday morning. And so had to cut my hunt a little short, and had another one of the guides I work with come in and pick it up for me. But
Nice, nice, nice.
yeah.
So you beat me to the punch a little bit. You got a new song out. How's that entire process been?
It's been good. It's been good. People are really enjoying the song. A lot of people saying it's one of the best I've put out, and so it's good to see that I'm getting better as I go. That's what you want as an artist, I think.
Absolutely. It almost feels like it's a. I don't want to say it feels like a different vibe for you, but it just feels like a radio hit, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you.
You,
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
yeah, because as you sit there and listen to it, it's a song that if it comes on the radio, it makes sense to be there. If it comes on at the bar, on the juke, like whatever it is,
Yeah.
it feels like a good song. So
Well, thank you.
how long have you so the name of the song is Loud. How long have you been working on it?
Oh boy, I've been sitting on it for a little while now. I got it written with my friend Haley Victor. Oh gosh, when did we write that? It was either end of last year, beginning of this year. Uh, and then went up to Nashville, got it recorded as a demo, just kind of sat on the demo for a little while. And
Yeah.
then at some point earlier this year, I was like, you know what? That song's got to come out. And so I called my producer and was like, let's take it to the next step. Let's make it into a song itself and then take it from there. And so we did. And then I put out the album. Then I put out an acoustic version of How a Girl off the album. And then I was
Mm.
like, okay, it's time.
Yeah,
Let's give the world a honky tonk.
for sure. Do you regret not trying to get Loud out sooner, or do you think it just kind of came out when it did, when it was supposed to?
I think it came out when it was supposed to. I think it all worked out the way it needed to. Simply because I mean, with the album, like most of my focus and resources definitely went into that. I mean, it ended up working out. The album charted at number 39 on the top 100 for iTunes country, and then had a whole bunch of other things happen around it. And then the acoustic How a Girl. I mean, it didn't really go anywhere, but that's okay. I just kind of wanted to put that one out for me because I like that song, and
Yeah,
I loved the acoustic version once I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, we're definitely throwing that out."
for
But
sure.
as far as the timing on Loud, I mean, it couldn't have worked better. I mean, because I had the TV interview scheduled like
Mhm.
way before I had the release date scheduled, and so it just kind of worked out perfectly to where I was able to go on the air the same day the song was dropping.
Nice. That's it. That's just fate at that point, right?
I thought so. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely felt that way.
But you were talking about How a Girl, the acoustic version. I love when musicians do that. Like they release a full body of work that's like your fully produced thing. And I think more musicians should release more acoustic versions of their songs because it gives it like you don't know how people are going to connect to different versions
Yeah,
of the song. Like some people like the fully produced version, some people like the acoustic, and so it kind of gives your songs a um, longer legs to kind of survive
yeah,
and go on further. So um,
I
I, I
agree.
I've always thought that musicians should do that a little bit more.
I agree.
Yep. So let's jump back a little bit and talk about your album because we it has it been a year since we've had you on? Because I feel like you were
It might be. It might have been.
we had you on in November. I think we had you on for the
That's
Pan
right, because
Can.
you were
Yeah.
doing the 24-hour thing, right?
Yep. We had
Yeah,
you on in
I
November.
remember that. I was on for that, but
Yeah.
it's been since then.
Yeah. So how's the album been doing? I remember
Good.
you talking about the album or teasing something during the Pan Can thing, and to see it out now, it's absolutely incredible. So
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, so I released the album on April 12th. It uh overnight charted. It debuted at number 39 on iTunes Country. So a top 40 single for an independent art, or top 40 album for an independent artist, is pretty much unheard of. My producer called. I was actually on a flight to Nashville from Utah and had a layover in Dallas, and I got a call from him while I was in Dallas. He's like, "Look at the chart. You're in the top 40." And I was like, "No, I'm not. You're full of crap." I'm like, you're just pulling my leg. Like, don't get my hopes up like that. And he's like, "No, dude, you're at number 39. Get on the chart right
Nice.
now." So I got on my phone and checked, and sure enough, I was number 39,
Nice.
which
That's really
was kind of a surreal moment for a guy like me who's, still grinding it out and an independent artist and all that. But I mean, it was cool to be able to see my name up there with all of the big names and stuff. I was ahead of Luke Combs on a couple of songs, and Jelly Roll was one behind me and one ahead of me, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
yeah. That's awesome.
But
That's really cool.
little jelly
Uh
sandwich, but
that's funny. Oh, no, that's really cool. I remember you posting about that. Would that have been the end of April, beginning of May, or was it? You said it was
about the
shortly.
charting,
Yeah, about the charting.
that was like the day the song came out, or
Gotcha.
the album came out. So it would have been like April 12th, April 13th.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I remember you seeing it, and then you're such a hard person to kind of track because it seems like you're always moving, whether it's to Nashville, going back to Utah on a hunt, and then during the summertime, you're just like seem to always be playing shows. So,
It definitely feels that way. I mean, next week I'll be playing a show in southern Utah, and then the next day loading the band into a van and driving to Lincoln, Nebraska to play a show, and then Sioux Falls, South Dakota to play a show the next day. Then we come back and play a show here in Utah.
so I have to ask, are you booking like when you do little runs like that, are you booking that yourself or do you have somebody that's handling that?
So I do most of the booking myself. I do have a promoter that kind of helps book stuff now. She's done my Spotify promotion and stuff for a
Hmm.
while, but I recently kind of brought her on in a little bit heavier capacity, kind of
Yeah.
helping out with booking and stuff because I want to play more and more and more and more and more. Just
Yes.
because I mean I'm an addict to the stage.
Right.
I love being on stage. I love interacting with people, and
Right.
so I she's been helping me kind of book some of the stuff. So she booked us the Lincoln, Nebraska show, but I did do the rest of them.
Fair. When I hear like, oh, we're going from southern Utah to Nebraska to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, it's like that all just feels like a lot of driving.
It
And
is.
not that that's a bad thing, but it's just like in my head,
It's
it's like let's
it's gonna be interesting. It's from the town we're gonna be at in southern Utah. It's a 15-hour drive to Lincoln, and we're doing it in one day.
yeah. Fair.
Yeah. We're
I've done
leaving at like
crazier
6 in the morning,
things.
and we have to. So we actually have to load in our gear and stuff to the bar we're playing at the night before because there's a Cornhuskers game
Hmm.
right there in Lincoln, and the venue's across the street from the stadium. So local police shut the street down, and so we have to load in 24 hours before the gig. And
Okay.
so we'll be driving from Utah to Nebraska all in one day with limited stops.
Fair. I've done crazier things.
Oh, so have I.
I went from Salt Lake City to like northern Montana
Okay, yeah,
in a night. Like just
done
we
that
we
before.
we wrapped we were doing acoustic recording sessions and we had a bunch of people in Salt Lake City that wanted us to come in. So we stopped there and then the whole point was to get up to
Yeah.
no what's Kalispell, Montana.
Hmm.
And so it was like, okay, we've only got 15 hours to get from point A to point B. So once we get done
Right.
here in Salt Lake City, we got to bust our ass and get all the way up into Montana. So,
It's a drive. I've done that drive. My dad and I, when I was, or gosh, what year was it? October of 2019. My dad and I went on a moose hunt up in Alberta, Canada, and we
mhm,
drove. And so we I think we stopped. I think we did stop in Idaho, but
yeah,
no, we did because we left Utah at like 7 o'clock at night. So we
yeah,
drove halfway, got to our hotel in Idaho at like 1, slept until about 7, and then got back on the road.
fair. Next time I drive through Utah, I'm going to make sure to do it during the day. I always seem to drive through Utah or at least southern Utah at night, and it's like you
Oh, you
drive
got to
through
see the Red
Moab,
Rocks, man.
and it's just
You
like,
got to see the Red Rocks
yeah. I've always wanted to stay. What's that tourist trap right there? That's like
in the
the get,
South.
yeah, in the south. It's like in a cave or something. Like you're going, it's like a gas station in a cave or something. I don't remember off the
Oh,
top
I
of.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um, Gosh, what's that place called? It's right outside of the town of Kanab.
yeah. There you go.
The Kanab's a huge tourist trap. I mean, most of the Western movies that you watch and stuff, like probably 80% of the John Wayne movies were filmed right there in Kanab.
Yeah. So that's one thing I need to do is drive through southern Utah in the daytime so I can actually see everything, you know. So,
Oh yeah, it's
but
beautiful down there.
nice, nice. Oh, so you're about 20, a little over 24 hours from the release of Loud. How's what's running through your mind right now? Obviously, you just got off a hunt and you're just kind of going, but what's running through your mind right now?
Yeah, so I did a release party last night. Had a bunch of friends come over and just kind of celebrate the song, and it was great. And it's doing well so far. I mean, every song takes a second to get traction when you're not backed by a label,
Hmm.
but it's getting there. It's doing good and yielding good numbers. I mean, the social media followings have been good from it. I've noticed a good jump on both Instagram and TikTok, and so
Nice. That's I'm
song's doing me good. And I mean, it's one of my favorites to play live. Like with the band, it's just so much fun to rock out with that. I mean, everybody loves a good honky tonk song,
yeah.
and so
For sure, for sure. Are you so is this the song that you're saving until last now during your set? Is this like the send them home
no,
song or
it's like right there at the start. So
really? Okay.
we usually start with Breaking Horses.
Okay.
We've got this extended intro that we do to it, and then play a couple of other songs and go right into Loud and just send it. And
Yeah.
everybody, and like we get everybody up to the stage and stuff, and like right up front and center with us and screaming. And I just
Nice.
tell everybody, come on in if you want to get loud, which is the line on the which is the hook for the song.
Yep,
And
that
so it works. And then we close our sets on with Douse It and Diesel
okay.
usually.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I it's always kind of interesting to talk about like song lineups for like shows because it's like it could change every night almost at this
Yeah.
point, you know.
Well, I like to structure our sets kind of how you would structure an album. Like,
Hmm.
will this song flow well into the next song, and so on and so forth. I like I want my sets to captivate and catch the attention of the audience rather than just be like, I like this song. I also like this song, and I like that one. I
Yeah.
want it to be like, oh, this kid knows what he's doing.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, you know. It's you got to make sure that you're not burning them out too much on the front end and giving them time to kind of calm down, but then
Yeah.
not lose them
Hit
completely.
them
So
hard out of the gate, and then keep hitting them hard for a couple of songs. Throw a cover they all know, like a Toby
yeah,
Keith song. We do Should Have Been a Cowboy a lot, and a couple of
nice,
others, and then throw that in, and then slow it down for a sec, and then ramp it right back up, and then slow it down one more time, and then hit it home hard.
nice. That's cool.
It,
That's
it's been pretty good.
how long of a set are you usually playing right now? Is it about an hour, hour and a half?
About an hour and a half usually.
Okay,
Yeah, lot of
cool,
90-minute sets. I mean, it just
nice.
depends on what event we're playing. If we're doing an opening show, then it's usually 45 minutes to an hour. But
Fair, fair, fair. So, what's kind of the plan looking forward? Are you gonna kind of let Loud be what it is? Are you already looking at the next song or
I'm already working on the next song.
nice,
I had my producer send it over to our mastering guy yesterday, and so
nice,
just I'm always every time I get another song done, I'm like, okay, next step, let's go.
right?
And
No,
then while I wait for that track to get mastered and get the file back, and then start filming the promos and stuff, I run the promos on Loud and try to keep building hype around it. And the second the next song's ready to go, we throw it into the wind and say, hey, check this out.
I'm got to keep taking all the swings you can, right? That's the name of
Right.
the
And
game.
the next one I'm excited for, it's kind of a traditional country song. It's very like Coulter Wall, Marty Robbins,
Nice,
just kind of it's got Spanish guitar and harmonica, and
nice.
I'm really excited for it because
Ni-
that's the kind of music I listen to more often than not, is that old school trail music, like
Yeah,
Pioneer Trail music.
yeah,
Like I love that stuff.
for sure. That's really. Who are you listening to like right now? Who's kind of got your ear?
Oh man, this is gonna do a 180. So I mean, I'm always listening to Cody Johnson. He's
Mm,
my all-time favorite by a long shot. But I've been kind of going through a rock phase, listening
nice,
to lots of rock. 3 Days Grace has had me in a chokehold for a little while.
nice,
I've been rocking to a lot of their stuff. There's a country rock band named Lakeview. They just dropped an album
mm,
yesterday, and I'm completely hooked on it.
nice,
Nickelback, uh, Three Doors Down. I went and saw Three Doors Down in concert with Creed
nice. Oh yeah,
last week,
that
and
that's
yeah,
that's the big tour right now. Is it's them, Creed, Three Doors Down,
and Finger
it,
11.
Finger 11. I was about to call them
Yeah,
Paralyzer, but that's their hit single,
yeah,
not the yeah. So
yeah. No, I. You know what's funny is I didn't even realize how many Finger 11 songs I knew till I got to the concert. I was like, I know this. Oh, I know this one too. Oh, duh.
okay,
But
that's
no, Justin, the bassist for Three Doors Down, is a buddy of mine, and so I was like,
mhm,
they're in Salt Lake. I'm in Salt Lake. It lines up. I'm going to the
okay.
concert.
I need to get a hold of Justin. We had him on the podcast during the pandemic when the band was kind of not
Yeah,
taking
that's
yeah
kind of about when he started his country stuff, isn't it?
yeah that's
Yeah,
I was talking to his PR agent and he was like or they were like, hey, we got this guy Justin, he was in a band. They see the
he
PR
was
agent.
he was
He
in a band.
yeah,
Not
they
just
didn't cue it up very
just a
well. They're
band.
like he was in a band for a bit, and now he's kind of with the pandemic. He's trying to do this country thing, and I'm like, okay, cool, bring him on. And then as I'm preparing, it says uh, Justin 3R or 3DD
Justin
or
Three.
so
Yeah,
whatever his Instagram handle is, and I'm like,
Justin Three Doors, I think.
yeah, it's Justin Three Doors, and I was just like, man, this guy must be a Three Doors Down fan or something. Let me go check this out. And then it's like, it's
Sure enough, he's been in the band since like 2013.
right, and
He's he's just
I'm
been in one of the biggest rock bands of all time for the last decade. But
and I was
no big
just I
deal.
was sitting there, I was like, you guys didn't cue this up a little bit better for me because like I mean, I'm a
You know
Three
what
Doors Down
though?
fan.
Like when that could just be the way he is, because Justin's one of the humblest guys you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
Like he's just super down to earth, just such a good dude.
Yeah,
And he doesn't like flaunt the fact that he's in Three Doors Down. He's not like, hey, check
yeah,
me out. I'm in the one of the coolest rock bands ever.
right.
He's like, yeah, I'm Justin. And
How you
that's
doing?
who he is. He's not the bassist, he's Justin.
Yep.
And I
I,
admire that about him.
oh yeah. Then that's the vibe I caught off of him when we did sit down because I think we sat down two or three times like as the pandemic kind of progressed.
Yeah.
And it's like he was just the chillest dude. And it's like we kind of lost contact since like
Yeah.
2021 or whatever it was, but I need to get back in contact with him. So
You know the guy's chill when he runs a silver and turquoise company.
yep. Yep, yep,
That's how you know somebody's super chill and easy to get along with.
yep. I remember him plugging that and I was like, I don't
Sacred
think
West
it
Vintage. I'll plug it
yep,
right now.
yeah. So, um, so how's everything else been going outside of music? Obviously work's
Good.
been super busy or, you know, so
Yeah.
how's all
No,
that been
it's
going?
been good. It's been good. I really don't have much outside of music at this point. It's kind of taken over completely. Maybe between that and the hunts, and even still, like I'm guiding less hunts this year than I have in years past, simply because I've been on the road so
Yeah.
much. But I'm
Now
I'm
is
still doing the same pattern I've done the last 3 years, where I go from the road to the mountain, from the mountain to the road, and so
now is that the goal to ultimately do less and less hunts, or do you always see yourself kind of no matter where you kind of end up in
I
music?
I'd like to at least get a couple of hunts in a year, because
Mm,
I mean, it's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's
mm,
a lot of stress and a lot of work, but it's also kind of like a reset for me. Because for me,
yeah,
just being able to get up in the mountains and get up to like 9,000, 9,500 feet, just where there's no cell service, and just I can't get calls, I can't get emails, I can't have people bugging me all day. It's just like where my only focus is deer and elk and taking care of my clients for a couple of days.
yeah,
It's a good stress reliever. Just
fair.
kind of takes a burden off, and then I'm able to reset, go home, take a shower, get a full night's sleep, and get back to work. So
Nice, cool. So
yeah,
it's always nice to kind of have those things away from music, just to kind of reset yourself or whatever it is.
yeah. I keep turning
Cool.
my hobbies into work. First music, then hunting. So all I've got left is like fishing. The
Well,
one thing I don't get paid to do right now.
right, right. Well, I know a guy down in Nashville that he turned his fishing I what is it, a YouTube channel, I want to say. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know a
but
lot of guys that do that.
yeah. And then where you at kind of show wise? You mentioned that you've got a little run coming up next week.
Yeah,
Are you after that? Are you playing pretty consistently, or what's kind of the plan?
kind of. So, yeah, so I we've got this run in the Midwest over the next week, and then we'll get home like next Sunday, next Monday, and then home for a couple of days, playing a show here in Utah, and then I'll be home for like 3 days maybe, and then I
Mhm.
get on the road, drive down to Southern Utah again for this event called Trail Hero Music Festival. I've played it the last few years in a row,
Yeah,
but Trail Hero itself is this huge off-roading experience, and they start before the music festival does. So I'm going down there to partake in a couple of their trail rides that they do. They do a special needs trail ride where they
mm,
like get like the local RIAA groups and stuff, and like have a lot of the special needs folk come out and go on these Jeep rides and these ATV rides and stuff and take them around. And so the last couple of years they've had me come out and play a few songs for them. So I'm doing that again this year. And then the next day they're doing the same thing, but for veterans. And
nice.
so I'll be going with that. And then the concerts start that night. We play Saturday on October 5th with Montgomery Gentry. And
Very nice.
so I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
The
What's the name of this festival again?
Trail Hero Music Festival.
Okay, cool.
So
Sorry.
they're in their third year doing it. The first year we opened for Daryl Worley. Last year we opened for Uncle Cracker, and this year we're opening for Montgomery Gentry.
Awesome. I'll have to check that one out. Obviously you don't know because we've only met in through Zoom here, but I have a cerebral palsy. So
Okay.
the when you said the special needs aspect and they'll take
Yeah.
special needs people out for trail rides and stuff, that's something definitely I want to try and support. So I'm
There's
gonna
several people with cerebral palsy that come out, and
yeah,
so
I'll try maybe probably not this year because what is it like less than a month
it's in
away,
like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. But maybe next I'll reach out and see if we can get something set up for next year. So
Yeah, do
yeah,
it, man.
awesome. And then as far as music, people want to check it out. Where's the best place to find you?
As far as streaming platforms and stuff go, just look at my name, Cole Hartley. Hartley spelled Hartley. Social media, it's at Cole Hartley Country on Instagram and TikTok. And so yeah, go give me a follow, and I'll keep the music coming.
For sure, for sure. And then are you coming down to Texas anytime soon or
I hope to. I was down there a little while ago. I was in the Dallas area
okay.
uh gosh, a month and a half ago.
Okay.
I was writing a song with Garrett Bradford down
Oh,
there.
nice.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely a cool scene down here. Like
Oh yeah.
Dallas is
I
its own monster and
it is.
yeah.
No,
So,
I miss living in Texas because I used
yeah.
to live in Dallas.
Yeah,
And then my mom grew up outside of Houston.
that's right.
But
That's right.
yeah.
So, but yeah, once again, really appreciate your time. It's been
Of course,
cool
thank
catching
you.
up and hopefully we get to do it again. Hopefully we run into
Yeah.
each other in Nashville or for CMA Fest, CRS, one of those
One of the
country.
things.
Yeah. But once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.